Hi guys, I'm back to do my week of reviews. This time I'm going to be talking about movies that I have seen. I actually watched two movies this week. One was, what was it, 50/50, and the other one is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Actually, neither movie was anything that I was particularly interested in seeing, but because both of them ended up being free and I was invited and I just wanted to hang out with some friends. I said, sure, what the heck. That's I think been my attitude. That's been my attitude toward most movies that I've seen this year. Has just been because I need something to do. And most of the time they're actually okay. There's only been a couple that I really have not liked at all. And I ended up being pleasantly surprised by both of these films. The first one, 50/50, is a kind of a comedic, I guess I would describe it as a dramedy. It's a look at a young man who finds out that he has this rare form of spinal cancer, and I cannot remember, it was some weird long name, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it right now. I actually don't remember the names of any of the characters in the movie, and I don't really care to look them up right now because I'm lazy. But yeah, it's the guy who is 27 years old. He does not engage in any risky behaviors. No smoking, no drinking. He doesn't even drive. He's, athletic and gets exercise. So he thinks he's okay. He's been having back pains when he goes to the doctor. It's discovered he has this rare form of cancer, which he only has a 50/50 chance of surviving. And Seth Rogen is in it as his kind of good for nothing best friend, burnout, so to speak, pot smoker. And he also, who is it? Bryce Dallas Howard, I think, is his girlfriend, she is an artist, and their relationship is kind of not doing that great, but they're just kind of going through the motions, it seems like. I was really, really pleasantly surprised with this movie. It was very, very realistic, and the main actor, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I think it was, is wow, just so extremely likable in his role, so believable that he makes you feel for the character, every emotion that he's going through, like the confusion, the sadness, the worry, all of that is just amazingly, he brings it to life. And I don't know, if it had been another actor in the role, it would probably not have worked because everything rests so much on him. The supporting cast was great too. Seth Rogen was pretty much playing the same exact character that he always does, so no surprises there. And who else is in it? Anna Kendrick is in it as his therapist, who she's actually it's like a therapist in training, so she's not very experienced, and she's kind of figuring out as she goes along, trying to do what's right. That was kind of humorous, and yeah, it had a lot of funny moments and then really sad stuff too. One scene near the end brought me to tears, but I don't want to spoil it because it's really good. I think if you're interested in, and I was not interested in listening, in someone told me like, oh, it's a comedy about a guy who has cancer. I'm like, what? That sounded so stupid, but it was done so well. Highly recommended. I don't know if I would see it again. At first I thought no, but now I think maybe yeah. I don't know. It just had the kind of like perfect balance of seriousness and also with comedic moments. Originally, I would have said maybe a 7, but I think I'm actually gonna give it an 8. I don't like doing decimals, but I think I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Not quite a 9, because I felt like the ending left maybe a little bit to be desired. But if any of this sounds interesting to you whatsoever, I would definitely recommend seeing 50/50. My other movie that I watched this week is Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which I think is supposed to be a direct prequel to the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes movie, which I saw part of and thought was extremely stupid, so I didn't finish it, and I never saw the original film at all. This movie didn't really seem like anything I would be interested in, but a couple of my friends actually won these passes to see this dinner and a movie, and it had a really fancy dinner plus, a free movie in like this luxury auditorium of the theater. So I'm like, oh my god, I need to be your +1. I need to go to this. So that was really more the reason I did it, was for the free food, but I ended up actually really enjoying the movie. We were all pleasantly surprised because none of us, the 4 of us who went, had high expectations at all. And yeah, we all ended up enjoying it way more than we thought we would. I think it's if you've seen the trailers, this is obviously it opened, a few days ago, so this is all over, TV spots all over the place and trailers. It's a pretty common thing. 50/50, I think, was more of an artsy film, so it's not really as widely advertised. In fact, I haven't seen any advertisements for it whatsoever. But yeah, it tells about how the original beginning of how apes came to take over the planet, as you can also tell from the title. It all starts with there's this scientist played by James Franco, which I can't remember his character's name. I don't know why I seem to be having this issue today. He is trying to develop a cure for Alzheimer's, and his company, well, it's not his company, the company that he works at, Genesis, is testing this experimental drug. I think it's actually a virus given as the form of a vaccine on chimpanzees. And they use it on this one chimp named Bright Eyes, who shows remarkable progress in her brain functions. But then, as they're about to go bring her to do a demonstration, she goes crazy and security shoots her. So all the other apes have to be put down. But then they find out the reason that Bright Eyes went hysterical was because she had a baby and she thought they were like trying to take it, so she was just protecting him. And I think it was, or no, that was the dad's name. Whatever, James Franco takes the baby chimp home and raises him, and his name is Caesar, and he grows up to be, really smart. But then he is taken to an animal sanctuary years later because he attacks the neighbor who was like shouting at James Franco's dad, who has Alzheimer's, and for the first time, living with other chimps in the sanctuary, being mistreated, blah 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 blah. He wants to escape. That's pretty much what happens. It was a really, really interesting movie, and really showed the bad parts about humanity. It shows that essentially it was their fault, well, by pretty much originally James Franco's fault in leading to apes taking over the planet. A lot of them, mistreating the animals, especially Tom Felton, if you would remember. If you're a Harry Potter fan, he plays Draco Malfoy. He's in it as one of the handlers at the sanctuary, and he is just this sadistic, cruel guy who loves to torture the animals and tease them and make fun of them, and he's just awful. He's in it, and he seemed like his acting was a little bit kind of stiff at times, as if he was struggling with doing an American accent. I'm sorry, Tom Felton, I love you, but a little bit awkward, I think, was his character. Then the only other character slash performance I had a problem with was Frida Pinto plays James Franco's girlfriend, who she is a zoo veterinarian, and that's how they ended up meeting. I think her character's name was Caroline, and that's the only name that I remember, and that might not even be right. Wow, her character was so extremely useless. She really did nothing, had no personality, didn't do anything but like look pretty and hang out with James Franco, and that's really about it. She was the most boring, useless character, no personality. I guess they wanted to, bring in some diversity by having an Indian actress, and she was really the only female character in the film, so, they wanted to, that was, I guess, the only purpose that she served, but I felt like they could have spiced her up just a little bit, made her just a little bit more interesting, give her a hint of a personality even, but no, they didn't do that. She was so useless. But anyway, besides those two things, pardon me, the rest of the movie was actually really good. James Franco was really good in it, and the CGI was really, really good for the apes. Like, very realistic looking. I was seriously impressed. So this also, like 50-50, it ended up being really thought-provoking, more so than I thought it would be. I don't know if it's going to be a direct prequel to the Planet of the Apes movie, or they're going to end up making a new, like, reboot the series out of it. I almost think it would be better to kind of leave it as it is and not do anything else, because they might ruin it. It was obviously a little bit unbelievable at times. I mean, but what do you think, given the subject matter? That's really a given. But I actually, surprisingly, would recommend this movie, and I give it an 8 out of 10. Those are the only two movies that I watched this week. I know I'm going to be seeing at least one tonight. That might be it for this coming week, but either way, I will see you guys next week anyway. Bye bye.